Hi, welcome to my garage. Today I'll be showing you how to do some routine maintenance on your motorcycle. If you're like me, you like to do things yourself. And it's summertime, so it's probably time to do that coolant flush. What you see behind me is an MV Agusta 800 Brutale. And I will be using engine ice as my coolant. I've had success with this in the past. If you ride MV Agustas, you know they ride a little hot. Um, and engine ice does do a pretty good job of keeping the temperature down, I'm not gonna lie. And another thing you're gonna need is some distilled water to do the engine flush. It is important you use distilled water because it has no contaminants, contaminant free, so you can safely run it through your system knowing you're not going to leave any deposits behind that can damage the system. So very important, distilled water. I only ended up needing 1 gallon of water, and I was able to do 2 flushes with it. So uh, of course you may need more, you may need less. I just happen to have 3 gallons lying around, so I decided to do the engine flush. Right now I'm showing you the location of the coolant drain plug located on my bike. This may be different for other motorcycles, but for me that's where it is. And everything is going to be on the same side, on that right side of the motorcycle. Oh, and how can I forget? A trusty set of Allen wrenches. You'll need a size 2, size 4, size 5, and a size 8 millimeter Allen wrenches. So yes, one more time, a coolant of your choice, gallon of distilled water, and your favorite set of Allen wrenches. Alright, here we go. So let's begin by removing this fairing. This fairing is held together by 3 bolts. The first one is the 2 millimeter sized bolt on the top there, above your indicator light. Just set that down. So to get to the other 2 bolts, it's gonna need a 4 millimeter. Alright, so let's get to the other side of the bike here and just gonna give you a quick peek of where those 2 are located. So they're right there. They're a bit larger. They require the 4 millimeter Allen key, and I like to use the L shaped because it's just, you get a little bit more more leverage. You just get a little bit more leverage. So there you go. Pop that off, and don't forget to unclip your indicator light before you move that thing too far from the bike. So there I go, just using a small Allen key or a small screwdriver. So cool, mission accomplished. Got the fairing off, and there's the bracket where those 2 bolts were holding it. Okay, so now we've exposed the system here, and as you can see my reservoir tank there at the top, and I'm going to be using a 5 millimeter hex key. So yeah, these T-shaped hex keys for motorcycles make things a little easier in my opinion. So yeah, oh man, it's a little dirty. I'm going to clean that up a little bit. Oh, blow some love on there. Just in case you haven't noticed, this is a voiceover, and that is because I don't think I explain things very well in real time, in IRL, as I would say. All right, so there's a drain plug down there. Again, using my T-shaped 8 millimeter hex tool, and I'm gonna go ahead and use my 5 millimeter hex tool for some leverage because those muscles don't work. They're just for show. I don't even have muscles. But anyway, there it goes. It snaps off. And so as I start to undo this, and I'm thinking like, oh crap, here comes all the water, and it just kind of dribbles out, and I'm like, oh shoot, why is it doing that? And even though I opened up the reservoir tank, you do need to open up the radiator cap. But once the radiator cap is open, that water is just gonna come flooding. It's gonna come flushing out. Oh, there it is. Yeah, sorry, my arm. My beautiful arm is in the way. Yeah. So after I opened it up, I just like kind of sit there for a second, let it drain as much as I can, and then what you want to do is you're gonna want to like lean the bike, I call it the bike, but you want to lean the motorcycle, kind of tilt it to kind of get as much as you can out of the engine there. As you can see, this method of tilting the bike does get a little bit more, does get more of that water out. And so tilting it back and forth is a key component of this procedure to, you know, to having a more complete fluid change. So after rocking it a few times and making sure that I got most of it out, I'm going to set the bike back down, and I'm going to start putting the system back, plugging it all up so that we can begin the actual flush. So when as I do the flush, you'll see me turn on and off the motorcycle during the procedure, and that's optional. It's it's in my opinion better because you're actually like pushing the water through the system and, you know, cleaning it out. But it's not a necessary step, as I've come to find out. So there I go, adding the water to through the radiator, and adding water through the radiator should fill up the radiator and go down into the engine. And you want to rock it back and forth again. And yeah, there I am, just kind of topping it off, just trying to get as much water into the system as I can. Oh, spilled a little bit. That's okay. This job is a little messy, but it is water after all, so you should be good. Okay. And I think we're good on that, so I'm gonna go ahead and turn the bike on for a little bit. And you don't want to leave it on for too long, like 20-30 seconds, just to kind of... So I went ahead and cut ahead, and so I turned it on and turned it off. There wasn't too much water, but that's okay. I'm going to go ahead and do it again. I'm going to be more careful. I'm going to be more patient this time. Add water and stand the bike up straight, tilt it, rock it back and forth. I turn the bike back on as I'm filling it to try and get that water pump to push as much water as I can through the system. So I felt pretty good on that one. Oh, there it is. So I unplugged it again, got more water, came out that second time. And so I'm going to be a little bit more thorough this time around. And even though it looks like I'm violently shaking it back and forth, it's actually quite gentle. It's going back and forth, just trying to get as much water out as you can, because the next step is we're going to actually be filling it up with the coolant. So yeah, I only went through about a gallon of water, maybe less. Not bad. I use the rest to drink. Maybe some right now. So go ahead and fill her up. Alright, so now we begin the fill up process. So this is where you do want to be a bit more careful. Use your funnel. If you don't spill any, you can successfully do the complete change with just that one bottle on this model, this engine. Okay, so there I am, just kind of shaking all the air out, trying to get as much air out as I can. So there you can see I'm showing you. Overdid it a little bit, but that's okay. I'd rather overdo it a little bit than underdo it. And then so I'm checking all the levels, kind of just rocking it one last time before I seal it in. So grab the radiator clap, seal it in, spill it, and dribble that a little bit, but that's okay. And last but not least, you want to fill up that reservoir tank above the minimum line. The minimum line is on the other side, but and of course you want to check it while the bike is level, not on the bike stand. I'm having trouble with that pump, but I eventually fix it. So yeah, there's the minimum lines right at the bottom of that reservoir tank. And you can see we're right at it, so I'm going to add a little bit more. But this time I put the coolant in a water bottle, and that to make it a little easier. And, if you don't have one of these, you don't have to buy one. You can get a straw, like the ones that you have that you can get from Six Flags, or a straw from Chick-fil-A, and you can duct tape it to a funnel and then just do it like that. That's one way I've done it. But yeah, this is handy. So looks like one complete jug will do the whole change. So I'm just gonna put everything back together. So yeah, thanks for watching. I hope that wasn't too confusing. Now the reservoir tank, I wanted to make a final note that it does have a reservoir cap, but it's hidden behind the tank. Alright, so grab your fairing. Don't forget to reconnect your turn signal. I did the smallest screw first, and then I went back there and did the other two. Very quick, very easy. Now I'm just going to turn the bike back on one more time. And we're just going to let it run to let the coolant kind of cycle in through the tank. I'm sorry, not the tank, the radiator and the engine with the engine pump. So yeah, I hope this stuff works out for you. Oh yeah, make sure to check for leaks. Just make sure everything installed is not leaking. I also went on the other side and checked the hoses, and I checked the reservoir tank to make sure it was above the minimum line. Alright man, well thanks for watching. I hope this was slightly educational, and good luck on your change.